Well, to shed more light on this historic visit by President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to Egypt, we have the pleasure to have this phone with Mr. Abdul Rahman, the political analyst and writer. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you. Hello to you and the dear viewers.
Thank you so much. Mr. Abdul Rahman, how do you see the historical visit by the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to Egypt and the importance of the timing of this visit?
I believe this is a very important and significant visit paid by Mr. Erdogan to Egypt, based upon the initiative of Turkey since, let's say, 6 or 7 years ago. They have started to realize the power and the significance and the importance and the leading role of Egypt in the region, in a world that respects only the strong. And as we are a leading country that deal with other countries with decency and honor, that's why we are receiving today Mr. Erdogan. Afterwards, so many dark pages that we have went through before, I believe it's time now to forget the past and to go on with relations, the strong relations based on the historical ties between the Turkish nation and the Egyptian nation. We have too much in common. We have trade lines all the way, whether commerce, whether international cooperation, whether commercial cooperation, and of course we have uniting our situations towards some important issues. Let's talk about uniting situations towards what's going on in Gaza Strip, as we are witnessing the Zionist aggression against the Palestinians in the occupied land. We have too much in common to build upon. We have a good future to look forward to, especially that all over the time, all over even the time of crisis that the relations between Egypt and Turkey went through before, the relations and the ties went on strong between the two nations, whether in Egypt or in Turkey. We have mutual respect. We have even ties of race, ties of relation, of historical relations we have with the Turks that goes back to thousands of years. I believe it's a very important visit, and it's time for Egypt to have that important relations with the country in the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean file is a very important and critical. And the more we have friends in the Mediterranean, the more peace and prosperity we can aim towards for the benefit of our nation and the nations and the friendly nation in the Mediterranean.
Yes, Mr. Abdurrahman, how do you see the stance, the same stance between Egypt and Turkey in concerning the Palestinian cause and what's going on, the deteriorating situation in Gaza Strip, as President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi said that Gaza situation in Gaza topped the agenda of their talks. Also, for his part, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said that Turkey completely rejects the aggression and hostilities taking place in the Gaza Strip, with the death toll rising every day in Gaza Strip.
I am sure that such tragedy, such catastrophe that the Arabic land, in the occupied land, are going through right now, can unite our situations and gives us more common ground. We can stand together side by side, taking the same situation. We have already the same situation toward the crisis in Gaza Strip, and I believe that all the statements given by Mr. President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi and his counter, Mr. Erdogan, has tackled almost the same points, especially that Egypt, on the line of fire, on the line of facing the front, that frontier towards the unit existence, we have been backed up with the same situation from Turkey. This is a very important step and a mutual understanding, and of course that represents the same feelings, the same sympathy that both Egyptian and Turkish nation feels towards the Palestinians throughout that crisis.
Yes. Also, both leaders have witnessed signing agreements between both countries. How do you see the importance of this? There was a signing of cooperation agreements in several fields.
Well, of course, those agreements are crowning the same treaties that went on. We have never lost ties, commercial ties, between the Egyptian nation and the Turkish nation all over that past time and for centuries before. So we never cut off our relations on the basis of commercial ties, and of course with making it even more official, making it on the highest level that can give this commercial lines great push and a huge move towards a better future for our both economies. Our both economies, here in Egypt and in Turkey, we are facing the same challenges and the same circumstances and the same even hopes for a better future for our own nations. In such challenges can unite efforts and can hide the gaps, and we can forget the past. And Egypt now, that's the strongest nation and the strongest state and the strongest army in the region, can gain respect from any or each and any country around us. That's why, as I said, in a world that only respects the strong, we can make it clear to the whole world that Egypt is taking the role and taking back, regaining its leadership among the region, and of course with mutual understanding basis and the basis of national security basis that are the most and the important measure that we start or launch our diplomacy with, either with East or the West at the same time, with sophisticated and great balance of relations between Egypt and East or the West. We have Turkey now as a friendly regime. This is a very important success to the Egyptian diplomacy.
Yes, Mr. Abdul also concerning the agreements that were signed, President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi, for his part, said that they would increase the trade cooperation between Egypt and Turkey by $15 billion US dollars in the coming phase. So how do you, and for his part, the Turkish president said that they are increasing investment also in Egypt. So could you comment on this point, please?
Well, this is a very important and optimistic statement given by Mr. President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi. We are opening the gates for the Turkish nation to come and invest in our country. They are welcomed, as they have been welcomed for decades, for centuries, to invest in our country. We have, of course, great steps that we have accomplished towards expanding bilateral relations and commercial relations with Turkey and other countries in the Mediterranean. of course, we can stop any hostilities in the Mediterranean, and that's how we can make that sea is a peaceful sea for all countries around it. This is very important, of course. We have so many places and factories and projects that the Turkish may be interested in taking part, using their powers, we are welcoming the Turkish investors to come into Egypt and to share us our views on how to develop that cooperation. On the other hand, I believe also that Turkey is opened wide arms to the Egyptian investors to export and import. We have those relations all the time, and I'm sure this is a very important commercial step that can be benefiting our both economies.
Yes. Also, President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi have also praised the historical relations between Egypt and Turkey, saying that it's a long history of cooperation between Egypt and Turkey. And for his part, also President Recep Tayyip Erdogan also praised the historical relations between Egypt, having a very near culture between each other. Could you comment on the historical relations?
Between the two nations, we have a lot in common. We had our ages of conflict, and we had our ages of being friendship, of having friendship between the two nations and the leaders of both nations. We can choose what that suits the stage, what suits the new era of our relations between Egypt and Turkey, and we have so much to build upon for the future. We can choose what's good for those relations to start upon and to build upon. And of course, we have learned a lot from dealing with the Turkish nation. Whether how to be friends, how to avoid any hostilities. We knew how to deal with the Turkish nation for centuries before, and I believe we are ready to start a new page, like Mr. President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi has mentioned.
Yes. Also, the President Recep Tayyip Erdogan have thanked President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi and Egypt for the cooperation as Turkey used to send supplies for the Gazans and the Palestinian side, and it was received by Egypt in order to be able to send it to the Palestinian side. So President Erdogan have thanked Egypt for this cooperation and said that Turkey have sent 1,000 tons of supplies, and thanked Egypt very much for receiving the supplies and ensuring its entrance to the Palestinian people, and thanked Egypt for this cooperation. And President Erdogan also said that the reconstruction of Gaza is going to take place with the cooperation between Turkey and Egypt. How did you follow these statements?
Well, I'm sure that as a leadership that is dealing with decency, as I mentioned, we have given hands of help and aid with supplies and huge line of supplies to the Turkish nation during the earthquake catastrophe that hit the Turkish soils 2 years ago, or even 3, and we have started this. We have launched that step in a very time that we didn't have the warmth of relations that we have right now. We didn't look at their situations against us afterward the revolution, June 30, but we looked at a nation in a need of help. and that's how we acted upon. We have given hands to the Turkish nation, regardless of their leadership were taking stands or situations against our best interests. But we have helped the nation in Turkey without waiting for thanking, without waiting for any replies. We did what we had to do as a nation that is dealing with decency with all nations all around us, as well as we are helping the Palestinians right now, and even the Palestinians realize it, and they thank us, and they even expect more of us because they trust us. The same step we have taken towards Libya and their crisis that has happened the last year. We have helped. We built a whole lot of line of aid to Libya after the tsunami that hit their land. We are a country that is dealing with decency. That's why people and nations and regimes can trust Egypt and can build or rebuild the broken bridges between us for the benefit and a fruitful future for all the nations all around us. That's how we can build relations, and that's how peaceful understanding, mutual understanding, and peaceful relations should be built upon.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Mr. Amr Abdurrahman, the political analyst, journalist, and writer. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a coverage of the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's official visit to Egypt as he was received by President Abdul al-Sisi, and they held a press conference and they signed cooperation agreements, and this is one of the very important historical visits, of course. Thank you very much for following us in this segment, and thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for more updates on Nile TV International. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.